Friday. Happy Friday to you. It's Natalie here, the dear hairdresser, sitting outside of the gym again. I'm going in again. That's good for me. Feels good. Anywho's, I've been having this thought lately, and I wanted to get it out there before I overthink it and don't share it at all. And that is how uncomfortable it is in the world right now between male and female energies. I don't think you have to be an energy person like I am to pick up on this because it's everywhere. I was at the gym the other day and I can see on TV we are sentencing Bill Cosby. You know, and that's a sad thing for me no matter what I think about it because I grew up watching the Cosby Show. And so for the ending to be what it is now, it's sad in general. You know, there were things about Bill Cosby that were really great that he brought into the world. I mean, that was like the first sitcom where we had a black family, which America really needed to see, that was well off and getting along really well. And he was funny, you know? He was funny. And that was that father figure quality. And the dark side of that is that he took advantage of that, you know, in his adult life. And that's really sad. But men and women are just a mixture of really good and bad qualities. And, you know, I'm sure he wasn't that way his whole life, but this is his defining moment. And there's something kind of sad about that. You know, I'm not even going to get into the political stuff because it's just a little too hot for me. But I see similar situations, you know. We have people that are being called to stand in judgment of their past. And that's hard. That's hard to do because, like I said, you're not always the same person all the time, but the things that you do create a ripple effect in your world. And it's selfish to think that the things that you did 30 years ago didn't affect someone's world also, and that someday you might have to come to call for that. The same thing is happening with our rapidly growing DNA database. Did anyone think what might happen if suddenly everyone's DNA is in a giant database? You know, we are having people called in judgment for their crimes, you know, rapes from long ago, murders. You don't even have to have your DNA in the database. You just have to have relatives that have it because there are detectives that are employed to go through that whole bank and try and connect where you might be. So, I mean, this is a very strange time right now. We're unearthing a lot of things and it is making the energy really intense. And I think one of the reasons it is because men have done a lot of bad things. Because a lot of these people that are getting caught and called to judgment aren't women. And so there is an uncomfortable energy shift happening right now. And it's that all men in the world are having to look at the way that men have abused women for a really long time. And you don't have to be an abusive man to see it. I'm going to tread lightly here. Everyone has their own opinion of this and their own lens that they can put over it. But something that I've noticed and been thinking about is the 80-20 rule. And I don't know if you're familiar with this, but if you've ever worked in an environment, in a team, you know that there's usually 20% of the people doing all the work, and then 80% of the people just kind of like moving along, doing whatever. I know this is also true in like social trends and stuff, or, you know, like in a panic situation. You know, the 80% of the people are really going to just kind of go with the flow and do whatever they need to do. And then there's only going to be about 20% of the people that are polarizing either leadership or like going the complete opposite way, like just incredibly oppositional. Anyways, doesn't matter about those details. So my thought was that what we've been doing, because I do hear a lot of men nervous about women, I mean, decent men, right? That are thinking like, oh, they've experienced negative women. So they're seeing these women coming out with their power and remembering their experiences with bad women, and they think it's really bad. So what that does is that feeds into the already negative association that men have with women and how we do have a history of abuse and repression that we are trying to transcend. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. What's wrong with balance? You know, I think striving for equality is where people get jumbled up because that's equal. It's like a math term, you know, like people don't equalize. It's just, we're dynamic. It doesn't happen that way, but balance is what's important. So back to this 80-20 thing. What I'm thinking is that maybe not exactly these numbers, and it's shifting, but what we're trying to do is get to a 50-50 balance among the populations. No, we're just trying to get balanced. Oh man, this is just such a frustrating topic for me, you know what I mean? What I really think it is that there are a lot of really bad men in the world. And they want to be good men, but they haven't had a lot of opportunity to do that because men have grown up needing to be manly. And what have we told them is manly? Control and power and strength. And I think that growing up, there were probably a lot of men that didn't want to be that way, but kind of had to be that way to fit in. And so these poor men are sitting here going, oh my God, I never even wanted to be like that anyways. And they're not understanding that they have a choice to not be that way because there was a moment where they kind of just gave in and subscribed to the idea. And then with women, I think there are women out there that are shifty and shady and doing really bad things, you know? And I don't know how they got there, but I'm imagining they were probably abused by men. Just a thought, okay? Anyways, once you're kind of a, strange, not awesome person, though, that's hard to come back from. But yes, I have friends who have been wronged by women and abused by them in many ways, especially bad moms. I know that there are bad moms out there, and it happens, and I am sorry about that. That sucks. That is not a reason, though, to go around being a jerk to everybody and just thinking that it's okay, and then cross-referencing it with sex, and believing you own people, and then using evolution to throw that in there too as like you have some right to women. I would like everyone to take a step back and think about in their lives people of the opposite sex that are awesome and they totally love, and then send that person love. And every time you see someone that's of the opposite sex that you appreciate, let them know that, because we have some hate growing in the world and it really needs to be dissolved with some more love. And we can't have the 80% of us in the middle that really aren't like this suffering for this. So why don't the 80% of us in the middle that really just want to be cool start being cool and just stop listening to this peripheral stuff here? That was intense. I feel like I've been having all sorts of characters come up into my world, and I've been trying really hard to send out loving energy to men too, because I don't want them to feel like they're under attack by women right now, because I don't think that's what's going on, just because women are standing up and saying don't do this to us anymore. And yeah, it might be squirting out sideways in some ways, but that's not all women, I promise you. It will balance out. So I just think everyone needs to chill out a little bit, you know what I mean? Okay, my arm officially hurts now from holding this. This is a workout right here, the YouTube channel workout, holding up your video camera. I was a little shaky too because I was, ow, oh my God. Okay, I'm out of here. Bye.